Hey guys, welcome to the fraction workshop. In this video, I'll be just reminding you guys of the different types of fractions and some strategies we can use when you're asked to compare or order them. Okay, so there are 4 different types of numbers in this practice. There are proper fractions. That's when the numerator is smaller than the denominator. These are all numbers that are less than 1 whole. Okay, they're smaller than 1. You have whole numbers, which we know is going to be at least 1 or greater. You have improper fractions. The numerator is greater than the denominator, so it's top heavy. All improper fractions are going to be greater than 1 whole. And then mixed numbers, which are all greater than 1 whole. Mixed numbers, or sometimes called mixed fractions, are numbers where you can see the fraction and you can see the whole number together. So improper and mixed can be converted back and forth. So improper can be written as mixed, mixed can be written as improper. Those are all numbers that are bigger than 1. And why it's important to be able to recognize the differences in these 4 different types of numbers is because if you're asked to order them, then proper fractions will always be smaller than the other 3. Okay, that makes things a lot easier for you when you're asked to order some numbers, okay? All right, I'm going to move myself out of the way. If you want to take a screenshot of this, here are all the different cards. I'm going to sort into one of these 4 categories. So if you want to take a screenshot and practice it and see if you can figure out where they go, then feel free. And then you can check your work with me. All right, I'm just going to put myself in the middle here. All right, so proper fractions, remember, numerator is smaller than the denominator. So let's find all of those. A half. Okay, if you have half a pizza, that's less than 1. A fifth. What else? A fourth, that's a quarter. And 5/6. Okay. These are all numbers where the top is smaller than the bottom, and they all represent numbers that are not quite 1 whole. It's all less than 1. Okay, mixed numbers are really easy to identify, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Mixed numbers, you can see a whole number and a fraction, like that. Whole number and fraction. That's a whole number and a fraction. Whole number then a fraction. Whole number and a fraction. Okay. All right. Improper. Top is heavier than the bottom. 12/2, 7/6, 10/8, 9/5. Those are all. Top is heavier than the bottom. 15/4. Oh, I missed a 6/7. 6/7 is right here a proper. 8/4. And okay. And then this whole number 2 goes here. All right, so if I were to put all of these cards in order, I know that it will all start with all these proper numbers, all these proper fractions. All these proper fractions right here are all smaller than all these other cards because it's less than 1 whole. Okay, let's talk about these 3 categories for a minute. So improper and mixed can be written as each other. Okay, to really know the size of an improper fraction, like how big is it? I know it's bigger than 1, but how big is it? You have to think about dividing. Fractions is division, okay? The operation that's happening for a fraction is division. That's what this line means. This is 7 divided by 6. 8 divided by 4. Wait a minute, what's 8 divided by 4? 2. So even though it's written as an improper fraction, this is a whole number 2. So let's go and put that over there. 10 divided by 8, 9 divided by 5, 15 divided by 4, 12 divided by 2. This is another one that we could divide. 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Okay? So think about those improper fractions as division. So I'm just going to write this here. Right? 12 halves doesn't seem like a very big number, but that's a very large number. So far, this card is larger than all of our proper numbers, who are less than 1 whole, and all of our mixed numbers, because look at our mixed numbers. They're all only 1 whole. This is 6. Okay? All right. So improper is greater than 1. We don't know by how much. Mixed numbers, you can see the whole number very clearly. All of these mixed numbers is 1 and a little bit more. But let's look at these improper fractions. To figure out the whole number, you're going to ask yourself, how many times can that denominator go into the numerator? 7 divided by 6. How many 6s can fit into a 7? Only 1. 10 divided by 8. How many 8s fit into 10? Only 1. 9 divided by 5. How many 5s fit into 9? Only 1. So these 3 cards are all one whole and then a little bit more. 15 divided by 4. Now this one is more than just one whole. How many 4s can fit into 15? Think about your multiples of 4. 4 or your multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16. That's too much. So only 3 times. Okay, so you're skip counting essentially. 4 can go into 15 3 whole times. So this card is also very large. It's 3 whole and a little bit more. Okay, so this 15/4 is larger than the rest of the improper fractions and the rest of these mixed numbers. It's our second largest number in all these cards because remember the 6 is the largest. All right, so we're going to have some practice slides here. Oh, first, okay, my strategy. Consider what type of fraction it is. So just like what we just did, proper fractions are always going to be smaller than one whole, and then you can kind of reason for the rest of them how big it is. And then also think about whether it's close to 0, half, or whole. Okay, what that means is something like 6/7. You might not know what percent or what decimal this is, but you know that that's pretty close to one whole. 6 pieces out of 7, you just need one more piece, and you would make 7 out of 7, one whole. So that's pretty close to a whole. Versus something like 2/7. That's not very close to a whole because you need 5 more pieces to get to 7. You still need a lot more. Okay? So this one's close to a whole. This one's closer to 0. We can also think what's close to a half. 3/7 would be really close to a half because half of 7 is 3.5. Or what? 3/6. That is exactly a half. 4/8. That is exactly a half. Okay, so is it close to 0, half, or whole? It's also another way for you to get a better idea of how big that fraction is. Knowing your benchmark fractions will also really help. Benchmark fractions are a half. Everybody should know a half is 1/2, 50%, 0.5. A half, a third, 33%. A fourth, that's a quarter, 25%. A fifth, that's 20%. And a tenth, that's 10%. Okay, so those are your benchmark fractions. If you know those 5, then you really know several fractions. So if you can try your best to remember those benchmark fractions, a half, third, fourth, fifth, and 10th, then it will make your life a lot easier. Okay, now let's practice. All of these practice slides are going to be in ascending order just to make things easy. Ascending, remember, like you're ascending up a mountain. It's going from low to high. My first strategy is to look at these types of fractions. What types of fractions are they? I know that proper fractions will be the smallest. So here's a proper fraction. Here's a proper fraction. These 2 cards are going to be in the first 2 clips. Those are the smallest. Now, if you're given a test or a quiz or you're taking some sort of assessment that has to do with ordering these fractions, this is when you can omit answer choices that don't make sense. Okay? If you have an answer choice that says 12 halves is first, you know that's automatically wrong because it has to be one of these proper fractions. Okay, and then I have this mixed number, which I know it's one whole and a little bit more. That's 6/7. That's really close to another whole. So that's almost 2. 12 halves, 12 divided by 2 is 6. So this is going to be our largest card. This one's going to come second. Okay, did you see how I reasoned that, how I figured that out? Okay, now between these 2, which one is larger or which one's smaller? What comes next? A half is going to be smaller than 6/7. Okay, so I know 6/7 is really close to one whole because it's just missing one piece. But some of you guys might say, well, this one's only missing one piece too. But think about the size of a half. Okay, a half is missing an entire half. It's missing a very large piece. But 7ths, okay, if I have a pizza cut into 7ths and it's only missing one, that's not very much. Okay, so a seventh is going to be a smaller slice than a half. So 6/7 is larger than a half. Now, if you need to draw your picture, draw a picture to help you see. But I was able to do that very quickly because I know my different types of fractions. Okay, here's the next one. Again, I'm going to pick out my proper fractions. And look at that. I only have one proper fraction, so I know my first card is a fifth. So if you're taking a test or something, you know if it doesn't start with a fifth, then it's wrong. You can start omitting some answer choices. Whole number 2, I know 2 is going to be larger than this mixed number because this mixed number is only 1 in sum. 7/6, this is an improper fraction. 7 divided by 6, how many times can 6 go into 7? Only one time, so this is going to be 1 and a 6. Now this is, you have to be able to change your proper fractions, your improper fractions to mixed numbers to really get a good idea of the size. Most times you're going to be able to narrow down your answer choices, but in our case here, we had to know that 7/6 is 1 and a 6. I actually have another video if you need some help converting. 1 and a 6 is going to be, clear this out, larger than 1 and an 1/8. So I'm going to scoot him over. But again, if you weren't sure about this, then two things that we do know is a fifth is going to be the smallest and 2 is going to be the largest. So you can omit your answer choices if this is a multiple choice question, so that you at least it starts with a fifth and ends in 2. So this again is 1 and 1/6. The whole numbers are the same, so think about an eighth. If you cut a pizza into 8 slices versus if you cut a pizza into 6 slices, 1/6 is more than an eighth. All right, next, I've got 2 more. Same strategy, pull out your proper fractions first. I only have one proper fraction, look at that. So I know that one's the smallest. You can start omitting some answer choices. Let's see if any of these work out. 15 divided by 4, 9 divided by 5, 10 divided by 8. Okay, none of these work out to a whole number. So we can start seeing how many times can your denominator go into your numerator. How many times can 4 go into 15? 3 whole times. And then we have some left over. How many times can 5 go into 9? 1 whole time, some left over. How many times can 8 go into 10? 1 whole time with some left over. So I know out of these 3, I can stop looking at this 15/4 because that one's going to be our greatest. It has 3 holes. That goes right here. Now these 2 cards, again, we're going to have to change them to mixed numbers. 5 can go into 9 one time. Okay, so that's 5. Plus 4 left over 5. 8 can go into 10 one whole time. Then I need 2 more pieces because 8, 9, 10. Denominator stays the same as 8. This one we can actually simplify again. These are both even numbers, so we can cut them in half. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So you have 1 and 4/5 and 1 and 1/4. So which one is larger? This is one of those times where you might want to consider 0, half, and whole. 4/5 is really close to another whole because it's just missing one piece. 1/4 is less than half. 1/4, you only have one piece out of 4. You still have a while to go before you make it a whole. So 9/5 is going to be larger. 10/8 is going to be smaller. Okay, last one. Let's figure out our proper fractions. There's only one, so I know that one's going to be the smallest. You have some mixed numbers, and then you have this improper fraction. Does this one work out? 8 divided by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And these are only one whole, so this is going to be our largest. Now we have to figure out between these two, which one is smaller, larger. Okay, they both have a whole, so we're really looking at these fractions right here. A half or 3/7. A half is exactly in the middle. 3/7. Where would 3/7 go? half of 7 is 3.5. Okay, but we only have 3. So this is smaller than a half, which means this is going to come first. 1.5 will come second. Okay, so ordering and comparing fractions, a lot of it is just reasoning. Okay, there's not much that you have to, there's really nothing that you have to memorize. You just have to know the different types of fractions, and that makes ordering them a lot simpler. Or at least you can omit some answer choices so that you have a better shot of getting the question right. All right, so I know I worked through that pretty quickly, but hopefully that was a good refresher on comparing and ordering fractions. Thanks for watching.